Trader told me one in love, he didn't mean it. I know he meant different, cause my heart's gonna be the judge. All in my feelings, all up in his feelings. I'm all up in these feelings, feelings. Caught off guard and so surprised. How could someone be so close and so far? He went very, very far. Something in me just can't let it go. It's drilled inside this mind, won't let it ride. A lifespan worth of these puzzle pieces thrown about. Each piece has a vowel. If I believe in the sound, hear the voice and say loud, this can't be love. Cut!
Tulsa's Branjae Jackson is an artist in the truest sense of that expansive term, and her music is a passionate combination of soul, funk, and R&B. She's energetic and electric on stage, driven and dedicated behind the scenes. And beneath her friendly smile, a serious, strong woman with important things to say. She's an artist on fire.
My latest song is called Streetlight. I wrote the song because I was in a situation that I knew would turn violent, and being a victim in the past before, I'd overcome that. And so I felt empowered enough to just walk away, just to leave that. And so the song came out of, the stance of empowerment and realizing my value. So when Streetlight was birthed, I wanted to do something more. I didn't just want to release a song. So I did some research, came across an organization called DIVIS, and it's Domestic Violence Intervention Services, that is in my hometown of Tulsa, and contacted them because I wanted Streetlight to be sort of a theme song for empowerment and wanted to see what I could do to just be involved with what they're doing. And I wanted to be real within the community, not just releasing a song, look at me, look at me. It's like, look at me, but let's do something. Let's do something with that platform. And so, I researched their tools and things that they have. So when I play shows, I have brochures and pamphlets that are available there on my table for people that need that information. I speak of them online, tag them online. And I just make myself available to work with them in whatever it is that they need. So they've had block parties for communities, just to show people that they're there. And to visit a halfway home in between someone who is leaving a domestic violence situation and they don't really have their answer on how they're gonna get out of it yet.
Like a shelter or something.
Yeah, it's like a shelter, but they really focus in on building that empowerment thing, which is very important, because that's number one of leaving in a domestic violence situation, is acknowledging and knowing and seeing your own value. And without seeing your value and know that you're worth more than what you're receiving in that relationship, then you don't leave. And, a lot of it is, mental manipulation and just, emotional manipulation. And so Divis helps to break that down, to show us the signs on what that looks like. They go into the schools and with education and, pretty much strapping those girls with tools, what they need, because we don't know. When you're young, you're going in and you're in love, you see, it's like, he has the freshest Nikes, and you don't realize that you're being, emotionally manipulated.
So when you wrote the song, was any of that in your head when you wrote it, or were you just...
No. I just wrote it. Like, I just wrote it because I felt like a badass. Like, I felt like I walked away from a relationship that could have gotten me tangled up, and here's now round 2 of this being a victim. And I just don't look at myself like that. I'm a queen. Like, I deserve to be with someone who recognizes that in me and not someone who's trying to control me. So before it even got to that point, I was out of there. So I felt like empowered, and I just wanted to get it down. So I worked on the track and worked on the song and sat on it for really about a year. And the opportunity came to shoot a video and to actually really record it, and it just happened organically. It just really was a universal thing. I had the desire to want to make a change, or to empower and show other women that they could do the same. And yeah, the universe just came through.
There's got to be some sort of a soul reward to something that you've pulled from yourself, your own experiences, your own pain. And then to be using that to help other people. Tell me what that's...
I mean, that's what it's about. This is gonna be gone. We all have our time here, so I hope to make music, make memories, make, art that has a message. It's music that has an actual message that's going to help people and help empower them, help them get over issues, help them see themselves as royalty and see themselves as beautiful beings, that are just created out of stars. And yeah, that's just what I want to do. And whatever tools that I get in my hands, I'll use it for that.
In our conversations, on camera and off, it became clear that Branjae is laser focused on a message of empowerment and enlightenment. These natural enemies to the cultural disease that is domestic violence. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, 10 million people a year are physically abused by an intimate partner. Some 21,000 calls are placed daily to domestic violence hotlines. The same site indicates some 49% of Oklahoma women experience intimate partner physical violence, rape, or stalking. And we're ranked 3rd in the nation for women killed by men in single victim, single offender homicides. If there are voices rising up against domestic violence in Oklahoma, we need them to be heard. And we need to hear them.
I got started playing music when I was about 6 years old. Parents are missionaries, preachers, and so I used to get up, prepare the atmosphere before my dad preached. So that was my first taste of singing in front of people. Then later moved on to playing in a band, Full Flavor Kings. Guy Charlie Red, amazing bass player, instrumentalist, and singer, kind of taught me everything, all the ropes on live music, live bands, how to book a band, how to book a gig, how to get paid booking gigs, how to hire a team, a band behind you. And now we're here.
So when you were 6 and you're getting everything ready for your parents, like, is this gospel music? What are you singing?
That's all I really listened to was the gospel music at that age, because we were extremely religious, and so we didn't listen to any other music at all.
Like no
secular
music?
World music, none of that.
Really?
That was new. It was not Jesus. It was not the Lord.
So when did you start listening to secular music?
Pretty much through my rebellion teenage stage, when you go through I'm doing the opposite of what your parents tell you to do. So, and I was taping songs off the radio, doing mixtapes, things like that. So, yeah.
And who's on these mixtapes?
Oh, man, back in the day, a lot of 90s bands.
Okay.
Yeah, 112, Boys to Men, Whitney Houston. Yeah, a lot of hairbrush singing stuff.
In terms of the music that you make now and what you're producing now, do you feel like you have some of those gospel roots, like, in what you're making now?
Oh, for sure. I just believe in life, like, we pick up things, and it just sort of makes us become who we are. So those roots will always be roots. They'll never go away. And so they come out in my writing and sort of my connection to spirit and wanting to know more and God and all of that. So yeah, it's definitely a part of the beginning of who I am.
She's played everywhere, under her own name or with Count Tutu, a socially conscious and funky band she co-fronts out of Tulsa. She's probably got enough energy for 5 more bands. The woman is extremely alive. Listening to her talk, you realize that she's a complicated, complex creative. She's spiritual and hungry. She almost dares you to try and classify her music or pin her down, just so she could reinvent herself.
the visual part of it, the costume, the storytelling, the song,
Right.
the dance, all of it that came together. MJ was a great component. That's the only secular artist I was allowed to listen to because my parents selected him.
Really? Really?
So it's like nobody else is holy but Michael Jackson.
We'll let Michael in the house.
Michael Jackson is fine, we'll let you hear him. So I loved, watching Michael Jackson as a small child because he told stories. It was like Thriller came out and it was like this like visual story. So that is another building block. It's just something that I've always gravitated towards. I love changing costumes on stage and color and textures and things to share the message of what the song is saying or what I want to let people know what I'm talking about, what I'm trying to share to them. And visuals really help because, we adults, we still get distracted by balloons, car wash, and like, look over here. So, however we can do that, I do that on stage. It's to grasp attention, to hold attention, to tell the story.
Right. People do, I think, hate being asked what sort of music they play because it almost feels like you're going to be pigeonholed. Like, well, that's all I am, but I'm more than that.
Yes.
Obviously you have a lot of different influences.
Yeah, with the genre thing, I don't mind being asked that. A lot of people really want to know. It makes it easy. Like, how do I look you up on Spotify? Like, on a technical sense, who do you sound like? Who are your influences? So those questions are always there. They don't bother me because I'm just comfortable in who I am becoming as an artist. I don't feel a need to be one thing, or I may be one thing for this particular project and then change. I might want to do something else differently because that's the way that I want to express myself. I try not to pigeonhole myself or other artists or, in that sense to allow myself to grow. But I've always wanted to, entertain. Sometimes I want to wear this dress. Sometimes I want to be this character. Sometimes I, want to dance and sing and switch my style. So even now, I'm writing music that some of it has got a rock base, some of it's got a reggae base, some of it's, soul or R&B or hip hop or, I consider myself to be genre fluid.
Okay. Now, how do your parents feel about your music now?
Oh, they're very supportive, extremely supportive. My mom especially is my number one fan. My dad supports, loves. He doesn't so much come out to the shows because he's not gonna be caught in a bar. Come on, Lord Jesus. He ain't gonna be caught in no bar, but my mom definitely comes out. I remember when he said it when it was way back when. He's got feelings, but it's looking like friends. I can't believe this, making good love till the day's all in. But can't he see I'm in my feelings? I'm caught off guard and so surprised. How can one pretend the love's the truth and turn around and play me like a fool? Writing and composing, that is more of an intimate time. I prefer to write alone. Writing with another person is usually a little bit of a challenge because I'm so exposed. When you're alone and you're trying things out and trying things vocally and trying lyrics or concepts or sounds that I may like. Yeah, there's no one there to judge you. You don't feel like this is stupid, and if you do, it's just me. You feel like this is stupid, like, okay, this is dumb. So there's an element of vulnerability with writing with other people. So I definitely, feel that need to be alone, compose, write alone, because it's healing for myself. It's like I find home base there. And then the performance side is the giving side. That's the side that I feel connected to other human beings. I always say that's my purpose. I know my purpose. My purpose is not to do music or to be an entertainer. My purpose is to spread good energy in the world. And I believe in positive energy. I believe in influence of energy. I believe in walking into a room and seeing and feeling, connecting to that energy. I don't know if you're sensitive to things like that. I'm just very sensitive to individuals and the room's energy and the feeling and being able to change that, to know that I have the power to do that, that it's a conscious decision to do that. So once the songs go from composing them in my intimate time, it's just from there. Right. So it's levels. I need one and the other. They work together.
How's the energy in the room right now?
It's calm. It's calm and it's hot. I feel like everyone is settling into the temperature.
Whenever it's just you and your idea, there's no compromise. You know what I mean? Like the world, anything can happen. And then There's a different challenge and then a different beauty once you start bringing other people into the mix. Having music that's addressing those, whether it's socially or the personal difficulties and troubles that we experience. Why is it important to have music?
Going back to what I was saying before about my purpose being spreading, to spread good energy. I mean, that's what it's about. I just don't believe in having success for me, how I define that, which is, a large following and people that listen to your music and people that support you just for no reason. It's like, you're so talented. Thank you. I want to empower people. I want to use that power and that so awesomeness to do something, right. So for me, music is that avenue right now. And through life, I'll walk through new doors and it'll be new things and more things and we'll just keep adding to it. But what I'm focused on right now, musically, is establishing a culture through my music that I'm doing something. I'm doing something to change something that's bad, that's happening in the world, that other people are relating to, that they are going through. I want people to know that we're all humans, we all go for it, we all have support, we all go through things. And so that's what's important.
Just breathe, stop focusing on selfish needs. Just breathe.
I kind of freeze a little bit on what's next because I do focus on living in the moment so well. There's a time, I believe, in deliberately creating that you have to imagine yourself in that thing. What you see yourself doing next. It's sort of like that imaginative brain that we have as children to keep that alive. But then there's also the act within the moment of doing, right now it's Streetlight, and right now it's focusing on a future EP. It's what I want to do. So I'm sort of creating that in my mind on what I want to do next. I kind of get stuck there at times because this part's already rolling, Helping people, helping women in this sense it's really grown and it's getting personal because, what you put out there, you get back, right? So, I've had 2 or 3 situations where I was the outside person now involved in a domestic violence situation that I don't have anything to do with. I don't know either of these people. I don't know this woman. I don't know this man, but this woman is in danger. It's what do I do? So the universe is throwing all that back at me because that's what I've been talking about and that's what's been going on. So really testing me there. So I feel like I should sit pretty here for a minute and I want to release a video after that's probably going to be related and possibly think about doing an EP with that because it is an issue that so many people deal with around the world and it really has to do with self-empowerment. If people knew their own value, if people knew their own potential, if they believed in their own potential, then they wouldn't have time to even waste their life being abused. You realize, oh, this doesn't feel right. I'm out. Go to the light, go to what feels good. And so that's the message that I want to share, and I don't think that one single is going to do it. It's just not enough. Right. We got to do some more. We got to do some more stuff. So I want to bring some more visuals and things and just see what happens. I have.
Music is at its best a transformative, powerful, shape-shifting thing, alive and uncomfortable with boundaries. Like all art, part of the beauty of the thing is with the person taking it in. The perspective changes the view, changes the meaning, changes the importance. We hear what we need to hear. In our earbuds during a workout urging us forward, or ringing through the church as some beautiful bride floats down that aisle in white, or maybe that same church as a viewer stares at that coffin in the front through tear-filled eyes and wonders where all that time went. It highlights and holds us, music, and it soars with us in our triumphs, shapeless and truer still. It's a paintbrush, a mirror, a punching bag, a time machine, a compass, a sword, best kind of medicine. Music is a candle in the window for the lost searching for home, and for the hurting, for those willing to take that next step. Music is a streetlight.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, on my way in, I'm gonna hit reverse and back out of here. Rolling backward, avoiding hazard, I'm checking if the coast is clear. Before he make a big mistake, I'm thinking I won't crash and burn. Seen the sign of the time, only a fool would return. I'm gonna get away out of here. Find my way home. I'm about to get I'm gonna get away out of here. For the street light come on. I'm about to get away out of here. Find my way home. I'm about to get I'm gonna get away out of here. For the street light come on. Passing forward, she'll ignore it to understand. What you saying? He ain't behaving, girl. Pack up and call the crew. He got that perfect potion for hot explosion. You don't sit around here trying to clean up. There go the keys. You fighting hard against inevitable. Way away from you, far away above the street light. The street light ain't already come on. The street light ain't all came on. Get on. Confused on why you leaving, then accuse you of not having no feelings, and you holding up the evidence. No. When you're reading on the billboard, the message of flash. Believe it when you see it, girl, the tantrums aside. And find my way home. Before the street light, street light. Find my way from here. Before the street light come on. Hey. Street light, street light. Put your hands together if you leaving. Put your hands together if you gone.